Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, O Lord.
At that time, Jesus and his disciples went on from the mountain and passed through Galilee. And he did not want anyone to know, for he was teaching his disciples, saying to them, "The Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men, and they will kill him. And when he is killed, after 3 days he will rise." But they did not understand the saying, and were afraid to ask him. And they came to Capernaum. And when he was in the house, he asked them, "What were you discussing on the way?" But they kept silent, for on the way they had argued with one another about who was the greatest. And he sat down and called the 12. And he said to them, "If anyone would be first, he must be last of all and servant of all." And he took a child and put him in the midst of them. And taking him in his arms, he said to them, "Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me. And whoever receives me receives not me, but him who sent me." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
My dear friends in Jesus Christ, in our journey of life, in your life and in my life, we all have to live through experiences, moments where we encounter evil. The evil that we encounter, evil that we sometimes have to face, is in your own brother, your own sister, maybe in your own spouse, evil in the world that we live in, evil in the systems that we belong to, evil which is sometimes unexplainable. If encountering evil and facing evil is part and parcel of your life and my life, the liturgy of the word today instructs us how to deal with evil and what happens when, not only when you are evil yourself, but when you are good as against evil. The first reading, taken from the book of Wisdom, tells us, of course it belongs to so many thousands of years before the time of Jesus, and in the wisdom literature you have deep and profound teachings on life and complexities of life. The reading today brings out what happens when you are a good person. You don't have to be evil to have problems in your life. Even being good person, even being righteous, even when you are honest and wanting to do the right thing, you are going to have evil. So the reading tells us as to how those who were evil were planning to destroy who was good. And that is what the text says us. Let us lie in wait for the righteous man, because he is inconvenient to us and he opposes our actions. He reproaches us for sins against the law and accuses us of sins against our training. Now you see there, why is that there is evil in the world? Is because, as we all know, it's part and parcel of life. There is always the possibility of evil taking control of a man, evil taking control of a family, evil taking control of a country, evil taking control of a government, evil taking control of a president, prime minister, ministers, evil can always take over. And that's always the story. But when evil is in control of you or an individual or a family or a structure of society, all what they want is to destroy which is good. Why? Evil cannot take what is good. Evil cannot tolerate what is pure. Evil cannot live with which is righteous. So now in this text, the author is conveying to those who are righteous, don't worry about having opposition. Don't worry about evil trying to destroy you, because that's what the evil is all about. They just don't know how to see what is good. They just do not know what is pure. They just do not know what is justice and truth. All what they know is the darkness of the opposite. So therefore, in your life and in my life, my dear friends, encountering evil is part and parcel of this journey of our human life. And when you are encountering or when you are confronted with evil, accept the fact it is what it is. Sometimes you can never change it. And evil is so much part and parcel of this world that God has created. We do not know why God allowed evil. There is no answer to that question. But in order to be righteous, in order to be someone who is good, we need to know to stand strong when the evil is surrounding you, when evil is trying to destroy you. Stand tall, stand above, and show that good will always be there, that good will always stand through, that good will always be able to encounter evil and not waver. That's being good. There is this great saying by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, a great philosopher and a writer. He says, the dividing line between good and evil is within the hearts of each and every man. The dividing line between which is good and evil is within the hearts of each person. So that means there is nobody in this world who is all good. There is nobody in this world who is all evil. But when you are on the side of good, remember, evil will always come after you. You cannot avoid it. You cannot be away from it. Being good also means to be able to face evil and show that it is evil, because that's what good is all about. If you are a good person, remember, you have a duty to stand tall and stand strong and show the one who is evil that he or she is wrong and he or she is evil, because that's part and parcel of being good. The second reading, taken from the letter of St. James, which belongs to another context at a different time, but James, the author, is again writing to another Christian community, and he instructs at the same time, of course, the same theme of good and evil, but he says here, beloved, where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. Now what again James is saying here to the Christian community at that time is, again, remember, if you do not remain good in spite of evil, you will always have disorder. We have to remember, my dear friends, when you have lived with evil, and you always pay a price. If you have used murder in order to get something, you end up being murdered. If you have stolen in order to be rich, then you will one day be stolen, because that's the truth of life, and that's what you call the values of human existence. So therefore, what James says is that if you have evil in you, there is disorder as well within you. If you have taken to evil in order to be who you are, your entire journey will have all kinds of problems. If you take the human world today, my dear friends, why do we have poverty? Because we have given into evil of exploitation. Why do we have injustice today in the world? Because we have given into the evil of injustice, leaving aside justice. The opposite is forgotten. The opposite is not taken seriously. So we end up being sometimes families that are all in disorder. Sometimes societies that have no integrity, no future, no standing together, no oneness. Why? Evil has always been there. And what have we done? We have done nothing about it. That's why the world is falling apart. If you read Albert Einstein in one of his books, he says the problem of evil in this world is because not necessarily that there are too many evil people, but the problem is there are so many good people who do not want to do anything about which is evil. They all keep silent. It's my life, it's my family, it's my business. I don't want to deal with it. So leaving aside evil only increases evil. The good will always have to do whatever that is possible in order to eradicate evil from the world that you live in, the family that you live in, the society that you live in, that you belong to, because that's part and parcel of being a good person. And that is what we find today, my dear friends, in the gospel according to Mark. Jesus is now instructing his own disciples the evil that he is going to encounter because he has been good. As it was in the first reading in the book of wisdom, you are going to have enemies not because you are evil, because you are good. And that's the way evil functions. So here again, it's lived out by Jesus because he has been a good man right through. He was not into all kinds of foul play. He was not into stealing. He was not into lying and deceiving people. He was not into making money out of his own religious convictions. He was good right through. But the evil is now coming after him. So therefore he instructs his own disciples. We can see that he's taking his disciples away from the community and he's instructing them and telling them, predicting his own death, again showing them to be ready to face evil because he has been a good man. And when he says that he is going to be killed, Peter, his own disciple, did not want to hear it. My dear friends, this is one of those things that we do not want to hear. When you are good, you don't want to hear sometimes the evil that will come after you. The evil will always come after you because that's what evil is only capable of. And that is why we all have to remember, my dear friends, being a follower of Christ means to always believe that you are good and that you will always be good no matter what. No matter what. And that is why in this text, Jesus calls a small child and he says, again, when he was in this journey, he asked them, what were you talking about? This again, among the disciples as well, there is the evil that is emerging. Because here Jesus is getting himself ready to face his own death and resurrection. But they were all in their little world where evil is again taking over. Who is the most powerful? Who is the greatest? Am I above you or am I under you? Am I to obey you or you are to obey me? Who is the boss? Am I the boss or you are the boss? The little world of the evil in individuals, the power hunger. But Jesus instructs them and says the opposite. If anyone would be first, he must be last of all and servant of all. As I said, my dear friends, the evil in the world will always grow because the good within us is not good enough. Evil in the world will always be greater because the good that we have is too small. The evil will always be greater and larger and more powerful than the good. When we talk about our own country, my dear friends, how often we say, Father, they are murderers, but they are doing all right. Father, they are stealing, but they are doing all right. Where is God? What is He doing? This is how often we express ourselves. Why? Why, my dear friends? All the good men in the world, in any country or in any family, are too caught up in their little worlds, in their little struggles. Who is more powerful? Who is having more money? Who is having more acceptance? Being good, but not being good enough. And that is why, again, if you read Dante, a great philosopher, he says, the floor of hell is made of people who were good but never did anything in order to eradicate what is evil. Why? Good people are always more silent. Good people are more inactive. Good people, though they are good, is not good enough.